What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your friend the Goose, and the goose is loose, baby. And I am here with my Elimination Chamber 2021 predictions. Now, we are clearly very much on the road to Wrestlemania going into Elimination Chamber this Sunday, as we still haven't heard from either Royal Rumble winner, which world champion they will challenge. The winners, of course, are Edge and Bianca Belair. They both have done a lot of teasing. They've both appeared on Raw and SmackDown. Edge has appeared on NXT as well, while Bianca has not, which is interesting, but I feel like the women's title scene just wouldn't benefit to adding Bianca to it at NXT right now. She's more crucial on the main roster, whereas Edge enhances that scene. So having him drop into NXT makes a lot of sense. We have 2 pay-per-views left before Mania, Elimination Chamber, and then either Fastlane or End of the Line, whatever they call it now. They're just filler pay-per-views, honestly, because I think most of the champions are set going into Mania. I think we will maybe see a title change today, or Sunday, I should say, just for the sake of throwing it in people like mine's face, who just said there aren't going to be any shocks because it's Mania season, and they're saving those for Mania, so they might try to pull a swerve on us. But we'll see. Some of the matches I think could potentially show up on the card that haven't been announced yet, because I'm doing this before Friday Night SmackDown, because I have other videos I have to get done on Friday, mainly my WandaVision video. Check that out once it's up, by the way, if you want somebody with a lot of MCU knowledge breaking that down for you. Check out the channel for that. So I can't wait till SmackDown because I have other videos planned. But some of the matches that could happen, there could be a SmackDown Tag Team title match unless there's an injury I don't know about. If that were to happen, it would be Dolph and Bobby versus the Street Profits. But I think that might save until Mania. I think they might hold off until the big show to put the belts back on the Street Profits. Big E could face Apollo or Sammy. I think there's probably a triple threat at Mania between those 3. So maybe there's a singles match tonight that continues growing that story between the 3 of them. Big E has been doing a great job to this point, making the IC title feel legit. Sammy had done really well with it before him, but I think WWE has really invested in in Big E becoming their biggest mid-card attraction. And I think they're going to make his IC title run a lot of fun. So if he does defend, he'll retain. And Sasha could defend. I don't want to see her and Mella again. I don't think any of their matches have been great. They've been fine to good, but not great. I think the feud is dead. Bianca could be interesting. I don't know if there have been any other women on SmackDown poking around with Sasha. Maybe Bayley. But I kind of think Sasha gets a night off. Maybe they finally lay the seeds to Bianca Sasha. Maybe that gets cemented at Elimination Chamber. The Raw Tag titles are going to be the last one I talk about that could be defended. If that were to happen, it would be the Lucha House Party against the Hurt Business, and I'd have to think the Hurt Business retains. With all of that being said, let's get into the main card for Elimination Chamber. The first match I'm going to talk about, so already I talked about the SmackDown Women's title not being on the show most likely, and now it doesn't look like the Raw Women's title is lined up to be on the show either, because it was going to be Asuka versus Lacey, but then on Monday, Lacey announced her pregnancy. So what the hell does that mean for this match? And why was she talking shit before the match about taking the title off of Asuka when at that time she clearly knew she was pregnant? Because she just waited like 5 more minutes to announce it. I don't know. I kind of think Lacey is going to heel it up and be like, Rick, it's not yours. How could you think it would be you? You're probably coming oatmeal at this point. It's my husband who's a real man. You're an old fool who I used. What she used him for, I have no idea because she didn't get anything out of it now because she's not even getting a title shot out of it. You could have at least told the story where I got a title shot out of you and go fuck yourself. And then you send Charlotte at Lacey to fight for her father's honor because he got played. But now what do you do? I think this becomes either Asuka Charlotte, obviously because they're the only two people in a storyline right now with Lacey out of it. I would guess either Asuka versus Charlotte happens, and this is their opportunity to put the belt on Charlotte, unfortunately, or maybe an open challenge. At which point, I really don't know. Maybe Eva Marie finally makes her return. Maybe Rhea Ripley chooses Raw. She wins the title off of Asuka, and then you get Asuka, Charlotte, Rhea. That's two former singles matches. Charlotte, Asuka, Charlotte, Rhea. Turn it into a triple threat. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm not going to make a prediction on the women's title because I don't know what the match is. Maybe I'll tweet it out day of once something gets announced. But next up on the card, we have the United States Championship match. And that is going to be a triple threat between Riddle, Keith Lee, and Big Bobby Lashley. Now let me say first, Bobby Lashley is having the run of his life. He's doing the best work he's ever done under the WWE umbrella. He had some good work in TNA that might rival this, but he's been a monster. The way he snapped on Keith this past week was incredible, to the point where MVP doesn't know if he can contain him. Like, he's getting nervous. Like, I really like what's going on with Bobby. And I really think he needs to be a world champion within the next year. I would have put the title on him potentially at SummerSlam this past year. I don't remember who Drew defended against at SummerSlam, but I would have put Bobby there. I think Bobby lost to him at Extreme Rules, but I think Bobby would have benefited more from a title run than Drew did this year. Drew's established, and I think his title run has been awesome, but I don't know that he needed this entire run. And I think Bobby could have benefited more than Drew did. So I'd be positioning Bobby Lashley for a big Mania moment, and I think they might be. I am going to say, this is so hard because it's either Bobby keeps the title to most likely put one of these young guys over at Mania, or Bobby drops the title without getting pinned to go on to face Brock Lesnar, Drew. I don't know. Bobby's on the run of his life right now. And are they content with him being the mid-card? Or do they want to pop him to the world title scene? I really don't even know what to make of the Raw Elimination Chamber, because usually there's only one chamber match. Because Edge didn't have an assigned show when he won the Rumble, it throws all of this in flux, because typically the Elimination Chamber goes to the show who did not have a Rumble winner. So let's say Edge was Raw. Only SmackDown would get a chamber match, and it would be the number one contender match. That's the way I think of it. But now, both fucking shows are getting one, and I got no clue. Drew and Sheamus seems to be the story they're telling. Does that need the title? This is a lot. This is a really hard one, guys. I am so sorry I'm taking this long. Riddle and Keith Lee are two of your future stars of the company, and I'm putting the belt on one of them. The bad thing is that comes at the expense of the other one getting pinned. So for the sake of who's the hotter commodity, who's the bigger asset, who's the better prospect, I think Keith Lee pins Matt Riddle, maybe after Bobby destroys him, and Keith Lee becomes the U.S. champion. I think that could lead to Bobby becoming even more unhinged, almost in like a world breaker Hulk kind of way, where the angrier he gets, just the stronger he gets and the less control he has, and the more just chaotic he becomes. I would love to see him lose the belt and then just ruin these two and go on a ridiculous tear and maybe lead to Brock. And I would do Bobby and Brock at Mania, and I'd have Bobby win. Or I know they won't do it because it's WWE. I'd let the two shoot. I'd put up the fight pit and I'd let them shoot. Go have your UFC fight. Go have your MMA style fight. If you want to predetermine it, fine, but have a shoot fight. Have a real shoot MMA fight. I think that interests me more than throwing Brock just back into the title picture. God, but is Brock gonna be there? Is Brock gonna be at Mania? I'm gonna say he is, and I'm gonna say Keith Lee gets the title. Boom! That's my big prediction. I said one title would change hands as like a whoa. I think it's Keith Lee getting the U.S. title. Now, it's time for the final three matches. I'm going to start off with the Raw Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship. There was a pretty good gauntlet match on Monday this past week to determine who would be coming in last, and that was won by your boy Shamo, Big Sheamus. This feels like it should be Sheamus versus Drew, not a Chamber. So I feel like that's still going to be the feud coming out of this. Which means either Sheamus or Drew are winning. To go through the other options, we've got Jeff in there. We've got AJ in there. Did I not name all six? What the hell was that? We got Drew. We got Sheamus. We got Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, AJ, and Sheamus. Why did I list 7? What am I doing? I don't know. Whatever. So out of those 6, I think Kofi, good story, but it's not his year. Maybe him and AJ can do something. I don't know that Randy makes it into this match. I think this past week of Raw made me think Bray Wyatt and The Fiend are going to be resurrected at some point. And it could be at Elimination Chamber, and it could be to ultimately... what time is it? Whew. It could be to ultimately go to Randy and Drew at Mania. Because my initial thought was maybe Randy wins the title and they finish off Edge and Randy, but they've got the stuff going on with The Fiend. Although it could be Fiend, Edge, and Randy in a triple threat. I don't know. But you'll know where I think Edge is going momentarily. So Jeff, your filler. Randy, I don't know that he even makes it to the match. If he doesn't, I could see maybe Ali getting the spot. Although it's former champions. That's so dumb. That's so limiting to your current roster and the potential for anybody else to become a fucking world champion. Maybe Jomo, John Morrison gets in there, but Randy might not make it to the chamber. And AJ, I don't know what he does. So it's down to Drew and Sheamus in the final 2. And I'm going to say Drew retains. But something's going to happen. And I don't know what. Is it Sheamus has an opening to cheat, but he decides not to because he likes Drew, and then he regrets that and goes full heel and just snaps and beats the hell out of his friend after? Is it Drew cheating to win? Is Drew that desperate? Because Sheamus has been saying, you can't beat me. What if that's true? And what if Drew believes it to be true, so Drew has to cheat? I don't know. I think Drew would be a cool heel, but I think he's probably going to stay babyface for quite some time. Maybe the rest of his career even. I think him and Roman. Well, Roman will go babyface again, but you know what I mean. Those two could be... that could be your lead heel and lead face for like a decade. But yeah, I'll say Drew retains, and I think we're going to a Drew and Sheamus WrestleMania match, or at least a Fastlane match. But then I don't know what you do for Drew at Mania if it's not Sheamus. I don't want Brock. I don't want Goldberg again. If it's not Sheamus, it should be Bobby, as I said earlier. Maybe it's a big old meat slapping fatal 4-way. Drew, Bobby, Brock, and and Sheamus. Just throw those four hosses in there and have them destroy each other. So I'll have Drew retain. Then we are getting to what I believe will be the semi-main, and then the main event. It's going to be the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, followed by the winner immediately challenging Roman Reigns. It's an interesting wrinkle in the story. I don't. It's more cooking the books for Roman. It's more Roman using his influence, but it's kind of hampering the storytelling at that point, in my opinion. Let me get it out of the way. Ultimately, I think Roman is facing Edge at Mania. I think that's been the plan. I think when they're doing the whole family thing, I could see Christian getting involved to defend Edge. Edge has always felt like a SmackDown star. It's going to be Roman and Edge in the main event of Mania, I think. But now, getting back to who's going to get fed to Roman at the end of this evening, the 6 participants in this match are Jey Uso, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cesaro. It's a good field. I like this group more than I like the Raw group. A lot of interesting options. Corbin and Sami are out. They're washes for me. They don't have any chance of winning. They're filler. They're bodies in the chamber. Then you come down to Kevin Owens, the odds-on favorite due to his ongoing feud with Roman. Cesaro, somebody who just apparently re-signed a big contract, and could the incentive of signing that contract have been an immediate world title match? Maybe. I could see it. I don't think he'd win, but an immediate pay-per-view world title match could have been enough to make Cesaro sign. Purely speculation on my part, but it's possible. Because this is like when Ricochet got fed to Brock. It's a chance for a star to be in a title match. Unfortunately, we already know the result of the title match. Roman ain't fucking losing. But that's kind of the case against anybody on the roster. So I'm going to go ahead and say Cesaro is out. What I just said is possible, but I don't see it. There's not enough of an ongoing story. Then there's Daniel Bryan. A lot of people's pick to win the Royal Rumble. And probably because of that, a lot of people will pick him to win this match. And then there's the most interesting pick of them all, Jey Uso. I have to think this family line is nowhere near done. I don't want the bloodline to break up for like years, potentially. I would love Roman and the Usos to be a full stable for like the next year, just a dominant heel faction on SmackDown. But if Jey won this match, would he lay down for Roman or would he fight? That would be a hell of a story to tell. And as far as I can tell, SmackDown seems to be the show that cares about that kind of thing, especially when it comes to Roman. So we're down to our final 3 picks here. Is it going to be Owens, Uso, or Daniel Bryan? I'm going to eliminate Jey. Because I think whatever the next big beat in the story is of the bloodline, I think Jimmy has to be back. Jimmy has to be back for this story to take the next step. You need both Usos in play. So I think because of that, I could see Jey probably getting jumped in the chamber. Once there are more than 2 people in the chamber, don't be surprised if they immediately jump Jey and get him eliminated because they know he's Roman's inside guy. So maybe it's the final 3, and then Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens put their differences aside to get rid of Jey. That would also make sense because Kevin Owens also recently like maybe a couple weeks ago, or I think before the Rumble even, had mentioned to Daniel Bryan about potentially going after tag titles together. I'm pretty sure that happened. Um, so I could see them teaming up to get rid of Jay. And then I think it comes down to Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan in the middle of the ring, and I think they have an awesome final 5 to 10 minute match within the match. And I am going to say Daniel Bryan wins the Elimination Chamber. I think Kevin Owens has had a ton of opportunities lately, and it's getting. I'm the biggest KO fan you could hope to find. I look like Kevin Owens. I'm a fat white guy. If I was a kid, I would look up to him like, oh my god, I could still become a wrestler. 27, that bridge is gone. It's burned. It's history. But I love Kevin Owens. I think he's one of the best in the business. I would love to see him get a title run. But he's had a lot of swings at the plate in the last few months. Let's get another guy in there. Let's get Daniel Bryan in there. He plays the underdog better than anybody. And another reason I do this, so now the main event of Elimination Chamber, Roman Reigns against Daniel Bryan. Now this is interesting because this is a pick I thought about earlier and kind of knew I was going to go with Bryan. I don't know if they would do it, but fuck, would Roman and Daniel would have been incredible as a WrestleMania main event. I think they could have went out there and put on a 5-star classic knowing Daniel and knowing what Roman has been doing lately if they just went one-on-one. And I think that's what I wanted out of the Rumble. Now, if you throw Edge in there and it's Roman against Edge against Daniel Bryan, a lot of things get done in that scenario. One, well, first and foremost, spoiler alert, let me burst your bubble. Roman's not losing the title at Chamber, at Fastlane, at Mania. Roman ain't losing the title anytime soon. And if he does, WWE are fucking idiots. Roman should be holding on to this title for a long fucking time. If you maybe wanted to do a hot shot 1 week, KO rolls him up, fluke, then Roman hospitalizes him on SmackDown and gets his title back, maybe, fine, I guess. You're padding the stats. You're giving Roman another reign on his list. It makes some sense, but it won't be for long, prolonged periods of time. Roman will be champion for a while. And the reason adding Daniel into that match makes sense, are they going to put Edge on his back? Are they going to have him lose that match? Are they going to have Edge job out in the main event of WrestleMania after this incredible comeback? I don't think so. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think Edge is getting pinned 1, 2, 3, maybe ever again in his career. Like, he's a star above stars, which is the problem, frankly. The fact that he still has to be a main event spot at Mania because none of the current crop is there. Daniel Bryan's a guy to eat the pin, unfortunately. And also, think of the promo work. Think of the promos between Daniel Bryan, Edge, Paul Heyman, and Roman fucking Reigns. You think Roman has felt like the Godfather now, and the storytelling has been incredible? Give those 4 live mics, put him in a ring, and let him go to work. Let that be your main event of Mania, potentially. Roman, Edge, and Daniel. And you get a 5-star match when it comes to work rate, and you get an Emmy performance in terms of acting. Because Roman has been good enough. WWE doesn't get considered for Emmys, because apparently it's not acting. Okay. It's acting. It's partially acting. It's acting and it's acrobatics. I think Roman is good. The work he's done on SmackDown is good enough to win an Emmy. And if you're an actor watching this and you're like, what the fuck? Go watch this guy, Roman Reigns. He's fucking incredible. And Edge is a literal actor. And Daniel Bryan is the greatest babyface of the last generation. And Paul Heyman is a god. on the mic. Build your Mania to that. All right, guys. So I have Roman Reigns retaining in the main event, obviously. One more time, I have Keith Lee shocking the system, or the world, sorry. That was an NXT takeover, shocking the system. I have Keith Lee pinning Matt Riddle, to get the U.S. title. For the Raw women's title, I think probably Asuka versus Charlotte. And if that happens, I would think Charlotte wins. Those are the only confirmed matches. So then our chambers, I have Drew retaining. I have Daniel Bryan winning the SmackDown chamber. And then I have Roman defeating Daniel Bryan to remain the Universal Champion. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Share this video, like it, give me your predictions down below. And we are still hot on the path to WrestleMania, right on the road to WrestleMania. I hope you guys are subscribed to keep up with all of my wrestling content. You won't want to miss it because I am hype for WrestleMania this year. It's my first WrestleMania with a YouTube channel, and I plan on doing a ton of content. Thank you guys for hanging out. Goose out. Hi.